ask you some questions?
That's good.
How long have you lived here?
Well, I've lived here since 1977, and before that, we had a summer cabin out here since about 1964.
And I've lived here for 52 years on a farm just west of Chestermere, but I've also lived in the area all my life. I was born here in this area.
How old were you when you moved here?
Well, let me think. When we moved here, I guess I was about 52. See, I didn't move here as a little girl.
I moved here when I was just first married and I was 19.
When you were little, where did you live?
When I was little, I was born in Ponoka. Do you know where Ponoka is? It's a small town north of here. And I lived there until I was 11, and then I moved to Saskatoon and Regina, and to Calgary.
And as I said, I was born in Calgary and I lived in this area, which is about 10 miles south of here.
Where were you born?
Well, I was born in Ponoka, which is north of Calgary here, near Red Deer.
And I was born in Calgary.
Where do your kids live?
Well, I have 5 children. They're all married, so I have lots of grandchildren. They all live in Calgary, except one of them who lives just north of Cochrane.
Do you have any friends around?
Do you want me to answer the one about the children? Yes, I have 4 children, and 3 of them live in Calgary, one lives in Airdrie, and one lives on the farm with me.
Do you have any friends around Chestermere?
Most of my friends are around Chestermere now, but I still have some friends in Calgary.
Yes, I have friends around in the Chestermere area and surrounding, all around the area too.
Thank you for answering some questions. Hi, my name is David. Do you mind if I ask a few questions?
That's good.
Did you have a job?
Do I have a job? Well, I have a little part-time job. I write for the Chestermere Echo. Do you know what the Echo is? Anchor, I mean. Chestermere Anchor. It's the paper, the little weekly paper that you probably get in your mail. And I write for that a little bit. That's the only real job I've got now.
My job is working on the farm, taking care of the farm and managing the farm. So that's what I've been doing for a good number of years.
Did you go to school in Chestermere?
No, I was all through with school before I lived here.
No, I didn't go to school in Chestermere. I went to school at Indus and then Western Canada High School in Calgary.
Are there gardens and flowers?
Were there gardens and flowers in Chestermere? And how do you mean that? Were there gardens and flowers when we moved here? Well, a little bit, not very much. There wasn't much here at all when I first moved here. There certainly are now.
Yes, there were some flowers on the farm when I moved there, but being a gardener, I've expanded that, so I have all kinds of flowers.
Have you ever found dinosaur bones?
No.
No.
No. I'd love to.
Me too. I'd like to. Are there a lot of trees in Chestermere?
A lot of,
Trees in Chestermere?
no, that's a good question, though. There weren't very many trees. There weren't any trees to speak of to start with, and the trees that you see around here were planted by the first people that had cabins here. The biggest old, tallest poplar trees were planted by some of the very earliest cabin owners out here.
remember a big tree that was over by the complex that was destroyed when they widened the highway. And I have some pictures of that big old tree. I think it was a poplar. And it was a shame that it had to be torn down.
Was there any schools in Chestermere?
Stores? There was stores, did you say?
Schools.
Oh, schools. No, not in Chestermere. No, Conrich and Chestermere High School.
Yes, it was.
Chestermere Middle School was the first school in Chestermere.
Same answer.
Thank you. Asking
You're
more
welcome.
questions.
Hi, my name is Would could you mind I can ask some questions?
Okay.
Were there fish in the lake?
Are there fish in the lake? Oh, yes. Mostly pike and some perch. Anything else?
Not that I'm aware of, no. I've never been fishing in the
No.
lake.
Were there a lot of farms around Chestermere?
That's for you.
Yes, it was all farmland originally around Chestermere. And now there's a lot of development, a lot of small acreages and so on. So there's not very many of the original farm owners left. A lot of it's been purchased by developers.
Were there a lot of cars?
A lot of
Cars.
cars? Not when we first came here, no.
Were there a lot of houses in Chestermere?
Not at the beginning.
Mhm.
When I moved here, there were only 350 people that lived here. So there weren't very many houses.
I think she answered that one.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, my name is Smee. Would you mind if I ask you some questions?
No.
Were there any wild animals recently?
That's better for you.
Wild animals. Well, I suppose I have seen deer, of course, and once I think we saw a moose, and we did have some bobcats in the trees south of where I lived. Other
We
wild
have
animals.
foxes right now in Chestermere. We have a mother fox and her babies living right in town. I'm not quite sure where, but they keep seeing her. And there's a picture in the paper of the mother fox and the two babies.
Mhm.
And I also had a moose go right across my front yard. I live on the lake. And quite a few years ago, a great big moose went right across my front lawn.
And coyotes, we had lots of
Oh,
those.
coyotes, yes.
Mhm.
Were there tall buildings in Chestermere? Was there a video store?
Well, a video store, we've had a video store for probably 5 years. Before that, no. Hard to believe, but we really haven't had videos all that long.
Were there any stores in Chestermere?
The very first store was run by the Websters, and there's a Mr. Webster who still lives here, and it was his parents that had the store, and it was just on the other side of the bridge. And it was just a little store where you could get ice cream if they happened to have it, or gasoline for your boat, or things like that.
We used to go to that store after we had baseball games here years ago, when we'd have pop and have a get-together and so on. It was the social event of the week.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Hello, my name is Nicole. Can I ask you a few questions?
Certainly.
What is your name?
You do yours first. We're going in this
All
order.
right, okay. My name is Elaine Peak.
And my name is Joyce Hodson.
How old are you? Says.
That's all right, I'll tell you, I'm 81 years old.
And I'm 71.
She's just a child.
I don't know about that.
What year were you born in?
1925.
1934.
Where were you born?
I was born in Ponoka, Alberta.
And I was born in Calgary.
Were you born in a house or in a hospital?
I was born in a house.
I was born in the Holy Cross Hospital.
What kind of food did you eat?
Kind of food did I eat?
Yeah.
When?
When you were about small, our age.
Well, I don't know. I guess the food hasn't changed a lot that I can think of. You know,
I would agree with that. I think the one thing I do remember is the porridge that my father used to cook for us before we went to school in the mornings.
Did you have a pet?
yes, I had a dog named Skippy.
Yes, we always had at least one dog and all kinds of cats.
I have 2 cats, Pumpkin and Purdy. What color is your birthstone?
My birthstone is amethyst.
Mine is blue, it's a sapphire.
Alex. Where did you grow up?
Where did I grow up? I grew up in the small town of Ponoka and in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
And I grew up in this area, first of all in Innis and then here in the Chestermere area.
What did you do for a living?
Well, I was a stay-at-home mom mostly, but I've been a writer. And I did freelance articles. I wrote for magazines for many years.
And I lived on a farm and have worked on a farm for 52 years.
Do you live in the country or in Chester?
Well, I live in Chestermere.
And I live on the farm, just outside of Chestermere.
Do you live on the lake?
Yes, I do.
No,
Do you have any kids or grandkids?
I have 5 children and 12 grandchildren and 1 great-grandchild.
goodness. I've got 4 children and 6 grandchildren. No great-grandchildren, haven't caught up to you yet.
You got 10 years to go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm an Arizona. Can I please ask you some questions, please? What school did you go to when you were young?
Well, I went to quite a few schools. I went to Ponoka School, it's now called the Old Brick School, and just quite a few. 3 schools in Saskatoon and 2 in Regina. That's it.
I went to Sky Hill School, which was in the Bennett siding area, and then to Innis School when they consolidated the schools, and then to the Western Canada High School in Calgary.
Did you have next door neighbors?
Yes, I always had neighbors.
Yes, although living on the farm, they were sometimes far away, they weren't close by.
How big was your school?
Well, my school where I was going when I was your age, it wasn't very big, but it was a brick school and it's actually still being used. We went back a few years ago and the people there thought it was quite funny that these old ladies should be back looking at a school where they went to from grade 1 to grade 5.
Did you have a whiteboard or chalkboard?
And a blackboard.
A blackboard, although as I recall, it was more green than black.
Were they big buildings in Chester?
What was the question?
Big buildings?
Yeah, in Chester. Were there restaurants in Chester?
Not for a long time.
No.
No, Chestermere Landing was the first one.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My name is Adriana. Does it mind if I tell you a few questions? Did you have a police department?
We had the RCMP looking after Chestermere, and we still have. But we now have our own building and our own little what do they call them, detachment, I guess, RCMP.
And in the country, it was the RCMP also that did the police work.
Was the lake still here when you lived here?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, indeed.
It's an irrigation lake, you know, and it's an artificial lake. And they built it in about 1910 or 12,
I'm not sure, something that sounds about
early 1900s. Anyway, it's almost 100 years old. There wasn't a lake here before. There was something called Kennebaw Slough. That's a long time ago.
Was there seagulls on the lake?
Mm-hmm.
I would think
Oh,
so.
yes.
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 Did you have boats on the lake?
Mhm. Yes, when our children were small or younger, we always had boats. I don't have a boat now, but we always did.
Was the lake water dirty or clean?
You know better than that.
Well, I used to swim in it all the time, but it's not terribly clean. Could be better.
Did you have machines like a washer, a dishwasher?
Well, I always had a dishwasher after we moved here with our house, but when we had the cabin, we didn't.
We had the old regular washers, we didn't have automatic washers and that sort of thing.
Welcome.
My name is Claire. Is it okay if I ask you a few questions?
Yes.
Did you have gas fireplaces to keep your house warm?
No. No. I guess no is the answer to that.
Yes, no, I didn't have any fireplaces, still don't have a fireplace actually.
We had wood fireplaces. We had a gas furnace, but not a gas fireplace.
Did you have cars back then?
Yeah, yes, we had cars.
Yes.
Did you ride bicycles?
I did.
Yes, I did too. In fact, I used to ride my bicycle to school sometimes.
Did you have airplanes?
Yes? Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How long have you lived in Canada?
All my life.
Same here.
What did you do for work?
Excuse me, go ahead.
Okay, I live on a farm. I worked on a farm pretty well all my life.
Have you lived in Chesterfield your whole life?
Well, no, I haven't. I've just lived here since 1977.
How long has your house
It's
been
okay.
there?
What was the question
How
again?
long has your house been there?
How long has my house been there? Oh, let me think. I don't know. The present house I live in, about 30 years, I guess, 35 years.
Mine's 30 years.
How many houses did you live in?
You go first.
Oh, you go first, I'll count.
Since I lived in this area, just 2 houses.
I guess altogether, if you want to know about all of them, I probably lived in about 10 or 12.
Did you work in the country?
Well, still work in the country, yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What schools did you go to?
I went to Anoka School and schools in Saskatchewan and Alberta. I didn't go to school around here.
I went to Sky Hill School in this area, and then to Western Canada High School in Calgary.
Did you have the same stores that we have today?
No, very different stores.
Yes, I agree with that, very different.
Did you have big stores here?
In Chester? ones we have now have just been here for very few years. Some of them only a year.
What did the stores look like?
Really, the only store was Webster's,
Yes,
wasn't
it
it?
was.
And I can't remember what it looked like that well.
It wasn't much of a store at all in the early
It's
days.
just a small building.
Did you have pets?
Yes.
Yes, cats, for sure.
Did you play frisbee in the fields?
There weren't frisbees then.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My name is Mama. I want to speak a couple of questions. Did you have the school we go to Perry Waters?
I'm sorry, did you what?
Did you have the school we go to Perry Waters?
Did we have that school? No, this is a new school.
Is the bridge across the lake?
Rich has been there a long time.
This isn't, there was another bridge, but this has been here a long time.
How many houses were there?
When I moved to Chestermere, I can't tell you how many houses, but there were 350 people, which isn't very many. And they were all around the lake then.
How many people live in Chestermere?
350.
Just answered that.
In the early days.
Mhm.
Did everyone live happy?
They probably did.
I guess they lived there because they liked it, so they should be happy.
What was the weather like?
The weather. What was the weather?
You had more severe blizzards and storms like that, but probably not a great deal of difference was there been.
No, they say there isn't a lot of difference, not much.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Hi, my name is Sumi and I'd like to ask you a few questions. Were there any tornadoes?
There was one tornado that went across
Yes,
Chestermere.
years ago.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. It lifted up a trailer, I believe. Yes.
Were there many car accidents?
No, not many.
I don't think.
There weren't very many cars in the area.
Was the lake bigger than it is now?
No, the lake's about the same size.
Mhm.
Was it as dirty as it is now?
Well, let's hope it's a little cleaner.
Has anyone died in the lake?
Yes, yes,
Probably have been some accidents.
yes.
What kinds of fish did they have in the lake?
Perch and pike, mostly pike.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Renita's not here today, so I'm going to do her question.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, just a second.
What is your culture?
Culture. Nationality, I guess.
I suppose. Well, you first.
Okay, well, my mother is of Norwegian heritage, and my father was Irish and English.
How old were
What about
you
your-
when you came here?
I was, I think, 52. And
And I've lived here since I was 19.
How many people are in your family?
You first.
I have, my husband died a long time ago. I have 5 children, and they're all married, and I have 12 grandchildren and 1 great-grandchild.
Well, I have 4 children. I'm divorced, and I have 6 grandchildren.
What kinds of food did you eat?
Pretty much the same.
Pretty much the same,
Mhm.
I think.
Thank
There's
you.
no fast food, though.
That's right.
Thank you again.
You're welcome.
No Tim Hortons.
No.
Is it okay if I ask a few questions?
Yes.
What was the weather like?
The weather was about the same as it is now.
Probably very similar.
I think maybe it seemed a little hotter because there weren't many trees around. Would you agree?
I think so. I think we had colder winters.
Yes.
But,
Was there a lot of grass and trees in Chestermere?
No, there were not many. In fact, there was lots of grass, the wild prairie grass, but there were all the trees you see around here were pretty much planted by the first people that came here.
How many people lived here?
you know the answer to that.
350 lots, and 350 people. That's just approximately. And that was in 1977.
Was there a government in Chestermere?
Yes, and I was part of it. I was on council for 10 years, and I was mayor for 4 years. And it was a summer village.
Thank you.
You.
Hi, my name is Bradley, and can I ask you a few questions?
Yes.
Were you married when you came in Chestermere?
I was, yes.
Yes, I was too. This is, when I was married was when I moved to Chestermere.
Was it dry or clean in Chestermere? Dirty. First
Dry?
moved here?
He means dirty.
You mean dirty?
Dirty.
You mean the water?
Yeah.
Well, there've always been weeds in the lake. So yes, I guess it was kind of dirty.
And when I moved here, it was a wet year, and we moved into a house that had just been remodeled, and there were piles of dirt and mud piles everywhere.
Were you a tomboy?
Pardon me?
A tomboy?
A clown?
Tomboy.
A tomboy. Was I a tomboy? No, not especially. I played baseball.
I
I
was.
played hockey for a bit. Maybe I was.
Yeah, I was.
How old were you when you moved here?
I was 52.
And I was 19.
Thank you.
You know.
Hi, my name is Weena. Is it okay if I ask you a few questions? Was there a movie store in Chestermere?
There was an outdoor movie, drive-in
Drive-in,
movie
yes.
right near Chestermere.
Yes.
But not a movie store where you couldn't rent movies, but this was where you went in the big screen outside and you sat in your car and watched the movies.
That was great. We used to go to that every week.
Yeah?
Was there a mall in Chestermere? Was there a hockey rink?
Yes, I think you can probably talk about that more.
I imagine there were, we used to skate on the lake occasionally. You probably did too.
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
But we had a hockey rink. There was an outdoor rink before there was an indoor rink over at the community grounds.
Yes.
Yeah. I wasn't there.
What stores were here?
Just one little store called Webster's Store. And it was just on the other side of the bridge. And it just had a very few things like pop and ice cream and gas for a boat, things like that. That's all. It was a very little store.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My name is Matthew, and can I ask you a few questions?
Yes.
Were there restaurants in Chestermere?
Were there which?
Restaurants in
Restaurants, you know. The first restaurant in Chestermere is The Landing. And it's been here, how long, 15 years maybe?
About that, yes.
Oh, no, longer than that. Closer to 25, actually. I have something I go by.
Oh,
Closer,
okay.
yeah.
You probably remember that better than I do.
Where did you get your food?
My which?
Food.
Food?
Well, we went into Calgary to get food, to the grocery stores in Calgary.
Did people live in big houses?
Well, when I moved here, they were just starting to build houses which you could live in. Before that, it was just little cottages and little cabins.
Was there a grocery store here?
No, there wasn't. No, we had to go into Calgary for
Thank you.
groceries.
You're welcome.
Hi, my name is Taylor. Is it okay if I ask you a few questions? Was the lake dirty? Could you swim in it?
Yes, yes, I always swam in it, and my children all swam in it, and my grandchildren all swam in it, and they're all healthy. But the lake isn't the cleanest in the world, unfortunately.
Were there ducks on the lake?
Yes, yes.
What do you like best about Chester?
Now, here's a good question.
That's a good question.
Yes. What do I like best about Chestermere? I've lived here almost 30 years. I guess I like the small town. I love the lake. And I love watching the birds. That's about it. What about you?
I think one of the nicest thing I like is getting on the one side of the lake where you're up high, and in the fall when the lake, or all the trees turn golden, and then the lake is blue, you get those beautiful colors. And there's some very nice views of the lake.
Can you tell me some of your favorite memories about early Chestermere?
These are tough questions.
Yes, I guess we had a cabin out here before we built a house, and we just came out in the summertime because you weren't allowed to live out here then. And I guess my best early memories are because the children were all with us, and we had wonderful times on the lake, and just getting together and having nice weekends. They brought their friends out, and everybody seemed to have a very good time.
I suppose some of the earliest memories would be coming down to the lake. We used to have a lot along the lake. We were supposed to be able to use it to water cattle, because we used to have the field close to the lake used to belong to us, and we used to drive the cattle in there to water them. So that was one of the earliest memories of the lake that I remember.
You're welcome.